Have you ever felt invisible? That strange, almost painful feeling of no longer being valued as before. Maybe a friend who used to seek you out enthusiastically and now ignores you. Or a partner who once showered you with attention and now seems to take your presence for granted. Or maybe it happens at work. You do everything to give your best, you work hard, you're always available, but no one seems to notice. And so, you start asking yourself, did I do something wrong? Why don't they treat me the same way anymore? What can I do to be noticed again? If you've ever found yourself in this situation, know that you're not alone. Almost everyone at some point ends up being taken for granted. But there's a truth that hurts even more. The more you try to be appreciated, the less value you have in other people's eyes. And do you know what's worse? The more you chase someone, the less they respect you. But there's a solution, a psychological secret that can completely reverse the situation. A small shift in mindset that can make people respect you and help you understand who deserves to be in your life and who doesn't. If you want to discover how to stop being taken for granted and gain real respect, then stay with me until the end of this video. It might change forever how you experience relationships. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel Words That Change Lives and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos on personal growth, self-esteem, and awareness. Now let's begin. Has it ever happened to you that you felt important to someone only to see their interest fade over time? At first, you were a priority. Then, you became an option. At first, you were special. Then, you became ordinary. What once seemed extraordinary now feels expected. But why does this happen? The answer lies in human psychology. There's a principle called hedonic adaptation. People quickly get used to what they have. Things that once made them feel lucky eventually lose their value over time. Think about when you bought something you really wanted. A phone, a pair of shoes, a special item. At first you were excited, you admired it. But after a few weeks, it became normal. The same thing happens in relationships. If you are always available, if you give without limits, if you are always present, others get used to you and stop seeing you as something special. But there's another reason, even more important. You give too much and receive too little in return. And here's where the problem begins. When a person constantly receives attention, support, and affection without having to do anything to earn it, they unconsciously start to take you for granted. Not because you are less important, not because you don't matter, but because they don't have to make any effort to have you. And this creates a dangerous imbalance. The person who receives too much without effort feels in control. The person who keeps giving feels insecure, afraid of losing the other. And do you know what's the worst part? This fear makes you do even more. The more the other person pulls away, the more you try to fill the gap with attention, availability, and efforts to please them. But paradoxically, the more you chase someone, the more they distance themselves from you. The solution is not to do more. It's not about proving your worth. It's not about trying to be noticed. The solution is to take a step back. I know, it seems difficult. Our instinct tells us to seek validation, to insist, to fight to keep the connection alive. But the truth is, the more you try to please, the less your value is recognized. That's why the most powerful trick to gaining respect is this: stop giving your time, attention, and affection to those who don't appreciate it. This is not about ignoring or manipulating. It's not about playing mind games. It's an act of self-awareness. Humans place more value on things that are rare and hard to obtain. This is why luxury items are more expensive. Limited editions sell out immediately. Exclusive opportunities attract more interest. What is abundant becomes ordinary. And the same applies to relationships. If you always reply instantly, if you are always the first to reach out, if you are always available, you become predictable. And what is predictable loses its appeal. But when you start investing in yourself instead of others, something extraordinary happens. Your absence creates a void. And that void is more powerful than any explanation or plea for attention. If the person you care about truly values you, they will make an effort to reconnect. If they don't, you have just received the most important answer. They were never truly the right person for you. And do you know what's the best part? Either way, you win. Instead of chasing those who don't appreciate you, use that time to invest in yourself. Develop your passions. Surround yourself with people who truly appreciate you. Focus on your personal growth. When you become the best version of yourself, you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. And paradoxically, this independence will make you more attractive to those who once took you for granted. At that point, you will have the power to decide whether to give them another chance or move forward without looking back. Have you ever tried taking a step back to see what happens? Write it in the comments. I want to hear your experience. If this video was helpful, leave a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe now to the channel Words That Change Lives for more content on personal growth and self-improvement. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.